welcome to my channel, and I am excited to talk to you on this series called Mum Talk. This is the very first Mum Talk, and I have a very special guest with us today, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about herself, where you work, what you do, and how many children you have, etc. Just let the people know a bit about you.
Hey guys, so I'm Diona. I have one child, he's 9 years old. I do my own beauty business. It's called Lashes and Lacquer. I do individual eyelash extensions and nails.
Boom! Okay, so today we're going to just speak a bit about single parentness. I don't know if that's a word, but whatever. We're going to talk about being a single parent. This girl gotta be good! But yeah, the first question I want to ask you is, how is it being a single parent? Like, do you have any challenges, etc.?
Being a single parent is definitely a struggle, especially when you have a child that misbehaves sometimes at school or with friends or anything like that. It's definitely a struggle because it's only your voice that's being heard mainly for discipline. And sometimes when you tend to send them to your friend's house or something like that, they can't enforce the same discipline that you will enforce on them. So that's definitely one of the struggles. Also, when it comes to things like school holidays, I have to try and juggle work with childminding, having someone to look after him, because I have to work. You know, I don't get as much days off like they do in school. So I think those two are the main struggles that I go through. Finding a babysitter, and when your child's misbehaving, it's very difficult when you have to be the main voice. And also I'm a female, so I don't really understand the struggles that a male is facing.
You kind of like brought it on to the next topic, which I was gonna, or the next question which I was gonna ask is like, what's the challenges being a single parent of a male child, like, and the father not being around? What things have you put in place to help you with that, or what advice could you give people that are out there, they've got a little boy or, you know, a child, whatever the sex is, and they're just doing it on their own? What could you advise them?
My advice for you would be, definitely, if your child is struggling with something like English or maths in school, because my son, he had struggles with maths in school, and it came the point where he would struggle to even get into the maths class. He would throw a fit or do something so that he doesn't go to maths. So what I did is I saw that and I thought, you know what, maybe he needs help with his maths, maybe he's not confident in maths. So I put him into Saturday school, so he gets extra English and extra maths lessons. And now he has no problems going into maths class. So I think it's more or less taking time and seeing the areas that your child is struggling in. If they have behavioural issues, look at something like meditation, look into things like karate, anything that has discipline in there, that you can have male teachers. Also have male figures around you. Like my father is very, very involved in my life and my son's life. Like, he plays a major role, and I think I don't know what I would do without him, to be honest, because you know how my dad is. Like, he really
big up these dad out here
stands when it comes to my son and his behaviour and stuff like that. Even sometimes for me, giving me a break, because I do believe that single mums, we've got a lot on our plate. You know, there's no one to share that child with. You're on your own, kind of thing. So my dad, he does definitely release a lot of strain off of me for me to be able to, you know, just take a day to myself or a few hours to myself. And I think that's important as well.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. I think just because you're a single parent, it doesn't mean that you can't utilise the males that you have around you. Just making sure that they're good role models, etc., and actually allowing people to be involved in your children's lives. Like, you know, that single parent is who I am, it's not who I want to be. So it's like, I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that it's easier for me and put those things into place. So obviously you're a single parent and the father's not around. Obviously everybody has their reasons why they're not around. Many of you know my story, but how do you remain better and not bitter about the problem? Like, he's not around, and you know, I hope you don't mind me saying, but that's his choice. So, and that's the same with mine. It's his choice. I have never been, and I know that Diona has never been, and I would never advise anyone to be.
Never.
If anybody, a man wants to be in their child's life, to stop them. That is not my portion. That's not what I want to do. As I said, single parent is not who I want to be. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So, how do you remain better and not bitter about that situation? How do you do it?
My main thing is being true to yourself and what you wouldn't want your child to go and do to someone else's child. So for instance, I don't want to raise a son who is going to go and leave another woman when he's older to bear the burden of looking after a child on her own. So that's my main thing, like raising a child with respect and morals and to take responsibility for their actions. And then I also think that I have a lot of potential for myself, and my son has a lot of potential in him as well. And he cannot be great unless I'm great.
True.
You know, so I always think it's better to be better instead of bitter. So I just encourage myself more to not sit in my situation and to grow out of my situation.
Definitely. I would say like the same for myself. Like, one thing I would advise and I would say to anybody, don't ever be the blame or seem like the blame of why the fathers are not there. So your children don't need to know anything about why their dad's not there. You just need to let them know that your dad loves you and he will keep it real with them, but not so real. So it's like, you know, he's not around, but, you know, whatever, what have you. Or just never badmouth the dad to the child, because then the child can grow up and say to you, well, boy, you know, like, I heard you was this, that and the other. And, you know, you don't want to ever feel like you're the cause of something, because children have a very different way of interpreting things. So I think that's the best way to stay better and not bitter. And leave that door open. Leave the door open. If the person don't want to be there all 2, 3, 4 years, still leave the door open. But not in a sense where you leave your door open and you're a doormat. But the fact that if he calls, you not reason and see how you can do things. No, you're not coming straight to my house. But we can meet in a local McDonald's if you want. But you're still keeping it open. Not like, nah, you ain't been there for 4 years. Because this specific time could be the time where they've decided to just pull up their trousers and be a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
and you are not your child. So the things that you might not accept, your child might accept. You know? So the dad could come into the child's life when they're 14. And your child might be happy, you know, it's that time, it was that time for them, but your time when the child was born or whatever might not be the time for the dad. So you all got to remember that. And also another thing that I always say is, don't let anyone have anything negative to say about you. So for instance, no one can't go on the street and say, oh, so-and-so's child's mum is so lame or whatever, because I'm on my game, you know. So that's how I always see it as well. So make sure that you don't allow anyone to talk anything negative about you.
For me, I know I was really, really upset at one stage, and I was like, how can he leave my children, this, that and the other, and And then one day my friend said to me, but Jasneth, are your children unhappy? And I was like, well, no, but obviously they must be. But she was like, you're taking it on as if it's your feeling. So the same thing how you said, like, your child, you don't know how your child's feeling. He might come at 14 and they're all right with that. Not to be like, you know, well, you left for so long, blah, blah, blah. That's my personal feeling. But talk to your child and see what their feelings are before you make a decision. How do you defeat the stereotypes of being a single parent? Because there are a lot of stereotypes upon us. So for example, you say that your son has a little bit of like behavioural stuff going on. But you know, people are judgmental. So people will, you might not hear it, but you can see it. Or people might say, oh, it's because she's a single parent and the dad's not around, or she must not be raising him right, or this, that and the other, or oh, look at this single parent again. Like there seems to be a stereotype on us. How do you defeat that stereotype?
Well, one thing that I do have is open communication with my son's school. So even though he has behavioural problem, they always commend me for always coming into the school when they ask me to, sitting down, having meetings. I also bring my dad to those meetings as well, so they see that I'm not on my own as well.
More respect.
So, and I think it's also good to have that kind of communication with the school, so that they know you're trying. Also, they see that outside of school I do things with my son as well. I think that's important. Also, your behavior on the street, you know, not looking like a crazy woman shouting and swearing at your child when you're walking down the road and stuff like that, because that's what people feed into, those kind of things, when they see you acting like that. You know, when you see myself and my son on the street, we carry ourselves well. And I think that is that plays a big part than my son walking down the street and I'm shouting at him when he's getting and doing something that he's not supposed to be doing and stuff like that. I think it's also about the way you carry yourself. And then people see that I work for a company, and then I'm starting my own business as well. You know, the stereotype is that single moms who just want to get a free flat and sit on benefits and everything like that, and that is not true. If you see me on social media, I'm very active in promoting family units, in promoting positivity, getting rid of knife and gun crime and all that stuff in the community, because I just see as our kids are growing up and we need to provide for them. You know, my dad always says things to me like, you make your child's life easier instead of harder. You know, and that's one thing that's always stuck with me. That's why I wanted to start my own business, so there's something that I can hand down to my son.
Leaving a legacy.
Yeah, leaving a legacy. And then also installing those things into your child that you don't want them. If the relationship with their child's mother breaks down, you will still play that main role in your child's life. Like, my parents are not together, but my mum and my dad, I still go out to dinner with them both.
And take pictures.
With them both.
That's an example.
You know, my mum's birthday, my dad will come together and we'll take her out to dinner and stuff like that. So those kind of things together as a family, that's how you can break down those barriers of just being a single parent, when people see you with your own parents and stuff like that. And your child sees that kind of relationship that you have as well.
Are there any lessons that you have learned through like motherhood and just being a single parent, etc., or whatever one works for you? What would you do different, or
I don't know if I would do anything different, because I believe that my son is what shaped me into the woman that I was. Definitely. I am now. Like, I was very Miss Know-It-All until I had my son. And I think he installed that kind of, the world is not so rosy as you think, Diona. I think, so I wouldn't, as far as my son is concerned, I would do everything the same. If I had to be a single mother, there you go, I have to be a single mother again in order for me to get to where I am at this point in my life now. The only thing I will say is with my son, I need to listen to him more, and because sometimes we do get a bit in our own world kind of thing, like when we're watching something on TV and your child comes in and they want to talk to you, and you're just like, shh, I'm watching something. So that's something that I would say, maybe listen to my son more when he's talking. I think with my son, I believe that as a parent, I've learned from my parents' mistakes, like my mum's mistakes when she's raised my brothers and stuff like that. I've learned from those, so I do take time out to spend with my son, just me and him. Like, get your child involved in things that you like to do. Like, I like to go to the gym, so in the summertime, me and my son will go to the park, and he will time me doing the plank or something like that. He'll get involved and do sit-ups with me and burpees.
I would also add as well is to also get involved in their world as well. Because like, I know your son, he loves Lego. So get involved in things that they really enjoy and just interact with them. But when I do take my children aside and just do certain things with them, like, they're really like, their world lights up. It's been really good talking to you, and maybe we might be able to do a part 2, who knows. But thank you very much for tuning in to Mum Talk. I really hope that you enjoyed this and you got some great nuggets and advice, etc. Make sure that you comment, like and subscribe. I will also leave Diona's details for her Instagram in the comment section, so you can find her business. And let's just support one another. We're mothers, we're doing our thing, and you know, it's all about collaboration. 2017 is about collaboration. And look out, because I'm telling you, she coming with a YouTube channel soon, you know. But anyway, peace, love, and hair grace. Bye. Bye.